Hello everybody, welcome back. It's me, your old pal Orpheus, with another edition of Orpheus Plays. Yes, that's right, we're playing Blade and Sorcery again today. We're on the Quest 2 port, the Nomad version of Blade and Sorcery. Always a good one to come and play. It's nice and smooth, there's lots of good stuff. It doesn't use as much memory, so it's a little bit less wobbly sometimes, Although I do have a really decent way for you to stream a game like Blade and Sorcery directly to your headset using an app called Virtual Desktop. I do a little video on that. I'll actually put that right up here, hopefully. Yeah, okay. We'll put that right up there. And yeah, so here we are today, and I want to talk about something today. I don't know if they still actually do this in a lot of places. I haven't seen it really in the news anymore. It seems more like an extreme sport thing. And that is bungee jumping. Yes, your old pal Orpheus has gone bungee jumping a couple of times. One not so eventful, and the other one, well, we'll get to that in a little bit. I hope you're doing well wherever you are today, whether it's day or night, or you're sitting here in this weird kind of, I don't know, Celtic kind of village where everyone seems to have died. This, by the way, is a custom map. This is called the Moorlands. It is one of the ones that's in the mod system here on Blade and Sorcery. Really cool looking. It's got a lot of little nooks and crannies to get into, and it's pretty cool. We're going to be playing Warzone today. This is Gladiators versus Bandits, which means apparently we're on a Super Mario level, whatever, which means that groups of people will come out to fight each other, and I may or may not beat them up at my own leisure. Yeah, so let's get things kicked off first with our first traditional slow motion kill of the day. We'll do it with a box this time, why not? Can I still use the box on him? He's dead. Oh, I got him. Yeah, okay. That worked really well. All right, let's see. So what I wanted to talk about today, like I said, bungee jumping. Is that still a thing, by the way? Like, I know that it exists, right? I know that there are places that have it. But, like, when they're very confused. They're just staring at her like, what did you do, bro? I'll show you what I did. Never let your guard down around Orpheus. Come here, bro. Ooh, well, okay, go over there, bro. So, I don't know if they still do this. Bungee jumping seems like it's more of a, like a fringe thing these days, like X Games kind of, you know, wow, like X Games kind of fringe. But like back when I was younger, it was all over the place. Like it was a legit like pastime. You'd see it at like county fairs, and, like tourist attractions around the world. And so I'd always been interested in it. Wow, arm and head, one swipe. Nice, I have reaped him. But this one time that I went traveling, there was bungee jumping in, it was Berlin, and it was bungee jumping over the Berlin Wall. And this was, they had a crane, and it was this big crane that was at the, it was at a, what was it, a Renaissance festival. It was at a Renaissance festival there, and I actually tell a story about that Renaissance festival in another video. I think it's called No, a bidet is not for that. I don't remember if that's still the title. Anyway, so it's funny, like they had this bungee jumping, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, well, I mean, it looks a little dangerous, you know. It was sponsored by this company, and I'm not gonna name the company because, boy, I don't get into any trouble. They are a well-known sunglass company. We'll just say that. They're known for their sporting sunglasses for people with very active lifestyles. We'll just say that. They also do sell some other gear and stuff like that. But so anyway, it was this crane. It's up there, and like in the back of my head, my family had always had this discussion. Right? That my family goes, okay, well, you know, you will be completely out of the family if you ever go skydiving. For some reason. I guess it was just too dangerous for my family to tolerate. It was especially my mom. She's like, no, if you ever go skydiving, you're out of the family. Well, it doesn't matter anyway. I'm out of the family as it is. But it's neither here nor there for this story. But she had always also been so freaked out about bungee jumping. She said that she'd read news stories about how people have gone bungee jumping and their eyes just would bug out of their head. And, like, that's the way she said it too. Their eyes would just bug out of their head. So, like, I guess what? You bungee jump, you get to the bottom part where you spring, and all of a sudden what? Your eyes just, like, popping out of your head? I don't know. That seems a little, ridiculous. So there I am. I'm looking at it, and in Berlin, I'm on, I'm at the bottom of this crane, and I'm looking up, and I'm like, I don't know. I've never done anything like this, so, why not? I walk up to the guy, who's taking, money for the tickets, and I'm like, hey, let me line up for it. And, I get my ticket, and I wait. It took about 20 minutes. What? He just walked into that one. Took about 20 minutes for my turn to come up. And I'm watching people, and I'm seeing them take their turns. And you know how, if you've ever seen someone do that, it's kind of like the same reaction that you get at an amusement park, right? People screaming, and you hear everybody oohing and eyeing things. And, this thing is just freaking nasty. And so it gets to my turn, and I'm nervous as hell because, okay, so I have a fear of heights. This game has really helped me to kind of get past that. Do I have? Ooh, I do. Yes, you guys are screwed now. But I've always had a fear of heights. This game has kind of helped me get past it. And there's high up places that you look down on, you look down from, and they legitimately look like they're higher up for me. Maybe not translating as well to you. Slow motion! Totally missed, but at least I kicked her. Where'd she go? Oh, she went off that way. You see? Look, she's right there. So, they take me up on this crane. You walk up a bunch of steps, and I get to the top, and they hook you up. They said, what choice do you want? Do you want it around your waist, or do you want it around your ankles? Right? And I'm like, wait a minute, what? Those are my two choices. And I'm like, so what do most people do? Nope. I said, what do most people do when they do this? He said, well, most people go around the waist. So I'm like, okay, well, hook me up that way. So they get this, like, if you've ever done rock climbing, like the stuff where you're on a belay line, someone else is helping you, or like climb up a rock wall. That harness is called a Swiss seat. Okay. It's a bunch of, sometimes ropes if you're doing free climbing, but it's also, you can have a harness for these things. And I've worn these in like productions where they've made us fly and stuff like that. Weird story for that one. And so they get you hooked up in this Swiss seat. It's kind of pinchy on the junk there, And so, you step up on this platform. Let's see if there's anything that I can, kind of analog this with. You step up on this platform and you look, and like down there is the entire fair, and there's the Berlin Wall right there. Absolutely gorgeous. This was like in the late 80s. Anyway, so I see the Berlin Wall there, and I'm like looking around, and I'm like, okay, well, I actually paid to jump off this thing. Oh God. So I'm like, my heart is up in my throat. I feel like I'm gonna throw up. My heart is pounding. I'm freaking out. I'm thinking about all this stuff. And I'm like, it's a reputable company, right? But like, it's still just a bunch of, a group of guys running the thing. So you don't know how much training they have, and this is in Europe, so it's like, the safety standards are a little bit lower in some places. And if you're anywhere in Europe, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Like carnival fair rides, amusement parks over in Europe, you can have some pretty weird mishaps. But so I get up there, and I'm looking, and I'm like, okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1, and I just kind of fall off. I just kind of swan dove, just like put my arms straight out and bah. So the thing about bungee jumping is it's like practicing to jump off a building if you want to, right? I guess there's that moment. Everything slows down, so it's like that flow effect. Professional sporting people talk about it. everything slows down. It's almost like frame by frame, so you like see everything really slow, like this. It's actually a lot slower than that when it happens, but like everything was like I just started seeing the ground come up, and I had time to like kind of look around a little bit. So I must have been in the air like from the moment I left that crane until like I started bouncing. It had to have been like, you know, a half a second, right? So, but that half a second felt like it was like 4 or 5 minutes because I'm looking around. I'm like just seeing the sights and stuff. Why am I holding it? Oh, I can blade. I can hand blade it. Blade hand. Half-handed. Whatever it's called. Anyway. So I get to that point where it's boing, boing, boing. And I'm just like, I'm hanging there. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm holding on to the rope. And it's just like, wow, that was incredible. And so they lower it down to the ground, and I'm like, I'm shaking, but it's like that, oh my God, exhilarating shaking. So, you know, it's like you've done something incredible, and your brain's kind of catching up to your body. So you're like, oh my God, I did something really, really amazing. So that was fun. I had a great experience with that. Later on that day, I drank way too much, and as you might see in the video, if I linked it correctly, I did something bad that night that a maid was very mad at me about. Actually, I think I made a maid very mad, and whatever. Anyway, I'll link it at some point. Anyway, so that was the one in Berlin. Really fun. It was like, wow, it feels safe. It feels good. You know, I would do that again, right? Ooh, she's got the same knife I do. Come here. I want yours. Thank you. I think this is called a rondelle. Anyway, so years, not too many years later. Why am I? Not too many years later, but you know, about 4 or 5 years later, I'm traveling again, and this one was for a cousin's wedding. Yeah, it was for a cousin's wedding. We were down in Costa Rica, and we're doing all the touristy things. Like we were staying at this place that really kind of nice, but still, you know, like it's Costa Rica and a couple of places. We did not go to the tourist places, right? So we never went to like a tourist resort or anything. Anytime that we went like to you know, Central America, South America, because I've also been to Guatemala a few times, and so we always stayed in. Ew! Wow, what is going on there? We always stayed in kind of, you know, more rustic places where the locals might stay. And so we're in Costa Rica, and I get a day that's, you know, hey, Orpheus, why don't you just go, you know, bum around? And there were some younger people that were staying in the hotel that we were in, and I kind of got to talking to them because, again, when you travel, like, what the hell? When you travel, you tend to be a little bit more outgoing, right? And I think it's some of that anonymity that you're traveling, so it gives you this. Yeah, let's use this big knife, as it is in German, the gross Messier. Ooh, big knife. Anyway, so when you're traveling, you you tend to be a little bit more, as they call it, gregarious. You're a little bit more outgoing and talkative. You're more willing to meet people and do things, and so that's kind of how it was, right? I had met people at the hotel. And, you know, we were talking and, oh, what are you going to do this week? Oh, I got this wedding that I'm going to, and we're going to be going to this place and that place, and there's a dinner here. And so got to talking to these people. Oh, Mr. Clumsy just broke his neck. No reason. Okay. So they're like, well, we're gonna go bungee jumping. We're going on a little tour adventure kind of thing, and we're gonna take a bus out to this big bridge. It was like a 350-foot bridge, or it was something ridiculous like that. Like the middle of it, 350 feet off the ground, and it was a river that was underneath it. And it was like apparently this really famous thing. Whoa, frame rate is going to hell. Anyway, so it was, wow, are we gonna catch up here? Oh, la la la, Ave Maria. What is going on? Oh my God. This slideshow brought to you courtesy of the modding system here on Blade and Sorcery. Okay, this is going to be interesting. I wonder what this looks like for you guys. Because for me, this is a 1 FPS experience. Let me see if I can get past this. Oh, God. Oh, my God. Oh, VR, the early years. Oh, we're back. Are we back? We are back. You know, I think what it is, my headset may have updated on the Quest software. Sorry you guys had to live through that one. Holy Christmas. That was bad. Anyway, so these other travelers are, you know, we're going to take this thing, we're going to do this, you know, it's going to be really fun. Why don't you come with us? And I'm like, yeah, you know, that would be fun. So this bridge was, people keep tripping and dying. What is happening? So, we're gonna do this thing, and they said, oh, you know, come with, it'll be really, really fun. And this bridge was really famous for it, I guess. And so we get on the bus and we start going. And we've got an itinerary. You know, we're gonna go to this beach and hang out. We're gonna go to this place and hang out. We're gonna have lunch at this place, and then we're gonna go to this bridge and we're gonna do the bungee jumping. So I'm like, oh, cool, right? So I figure, you know, I'll get all that done and have a good time, go back. I've got some memories and maybe a fun story. Okay. Little did I know that was precisely what was going to happen. So we get there, and we had lunch and everything. Delicious lunch. Had some nice local food. Didn't drink any of the water. Although, I have a secret on that. You ever say, don't drink the water. No, if you're going to be somewhere for a week or two, drink the water the first day. Okay? So your body gets used to all that stuff. You have your cup, maybe a day and a half of feeling kind of crappy, so to speak. Pardon the pun. But then everything kind of evens out. Anyway, so that's my secret to traveling a lot of the times. Anyway, so we get there, and it's this bridge, right? And there's a bunch of people, you know, standing in the middle of the bridge. Oh, he's doing some... What are you shooting at, man? So there's a bunch of people in the middle of the bridge, and there's a pickup truck sitting there. And there's a rope that's coming off with a bunch of supports, and it goes to the edge of the bridge, and it's like all tied up on the bridge here, and then there's like a harness and a little tiny platform that comes off the side of the bridge. And I'm with, boy, I had to be with like 2 guys, 2 girls, or something like that. And so we're all looking at each other, and it's like, okay, well, so this is the bungee jumping, huh? Yeah, okay, we're all nervous. And we're like, who's going to go first, right? So this girl, wow, nice shot. You took her head off. Very decent. My turn to rock you, madam. I don't know where she went. Anyway, so one of the girls is like, I'll go first. You know. She's like, I've always wanted to bungee jump. Let's get this over with, right? So she's like, I'll go first, no problem. So we're walking, you know, across the bridge. Oh no, we're having frame issues again. Anyway, we're walking across the bridge as I'm trying to get things to come back from this weird continuum, and we notice that it's this company that's a very famous sunglass company that happens to be the same one that I did the bungee jumping with in Berlin, right? Oh, what is happening? Oh, come on now. Anyway, so it was the same company, and I'm like, wow, so that's kind of cool. I had a good experience with them last time. But again, it's just a couple of guys, and they've got the banner with the name of the place, like, on the side of their truck. So I'm like, I don't know if this is actually like that company. It might be that these guys just like found a banner for this company and like, oh yeah, we're with this, you know, sunglass company. Like, come bungee jumping, because they didn't really speak English. I think they were like Swedish or something like that. They were somewhere from the Netherlands. I know that because we were talking about the Netherlands with them, kind of small talk. And so, this girl gets all trussed up. And the same thing, they asked, you know, do you want to be harnessed around your waist or do you want to be harnessed around your ankles? And I'm like, well, okay, again, like, I know that the the one around the waist is what most people do, but I'm like, why would you have the option of around the ankles? He's like, well, that's a little bit more dangerous, right? It gives you more of a feeling of being open because, you're hanging by your calves and your ankles upside down as they, haul you back up and everything. And so this girl's like, well, just put it around my waist. No big deal. That'll be fun. And she gets all trussed up. And she like goes her across onto the other side of the bridge, right? Go away, no one cares about you. So she's like on the other side of the bridge here, and she's like holding on like this, right? And she's standing on this platform, and legitimately, like she was up there for like 4 or 5 minutes, just kind of like, okay, here we go. Oh, I can't do it. I can't do. Okay, here we go. Oh, I can't do it. I can't do it. Right. So there's a line of people that's like wanting to go bungee jumping, and like normally this takes like 3-4 minutes. You get trussed up, that takes a little longer, but you get all trussed up, you wait, you step on the platform, you jump off, you do your boing boing boing, and then they bring you back up, and you get untrussed, and that's done. Like 4 or 5 minutes most, right? So this girl was like taking 4 or 5 minutes just to decide if she wanted to do this. And this is the point where I started to wonder whether this was a legit company, because you saw one of the guys that was running it get annoyed, right? He was visibly annoyed. He was like, look, are you going to go or not? And she's like, I want to, but I don't want to. I can't take that first step. And he pushed her right in the back. And she's standing there on the platform, and man, the blood-curdling scream that came out of that girl, because she like totally wasn't expecting this. All of a sudden, she's just falling off the bridge. She's just completely freaking out, like, ah, right? And she just boing, boing, boing. And then I didn't realize the way that they bring people up from this, because they, with the crane in Berlin, they just kind of lower you down to the ground. Well, here, you're hanging off of a 350-foot bridge, right? So they have this pickup truck there for a reason. So you're sitting there, you're in the harness, you're on the bottom, you're waiting, and they take one of the guys gets in the pickup truck and starts driving down the bridge, and they've got a pulley system, and it just kind of pulls the person up off back onto the bridge. And then there's this moment that I noticed that doesn't look so good. It's there's a moment right when you're standing there on the little platform, and they have to unclip your harness before you can get out of that position, right? So they can bring you back onto the bridge. Well, that one moment, you're not attached to anything. You're like legit just holding on to the bridge, right? You're like holding here, and they're unclipping you. So for just a second, 350 feet down, and you're not attached to anything. So you kind of have to, oh crap, and get back onto the bridge. So now it's my turn. And I'm feeling adventurous, and I'm feeling bold and stupid. And so he says, how do you want to get hooked up? Waist or ankles? And I say, hook me up at the ankles. Right? And I'm like, yeah, mister, I am brave. You can bring this to me. I can do this. So they get me all strapped in. Now you gotta realize, this was a time when it was either a Coke or Pepsi commercial where they showed it was bungee jumping, and the person that didn't use the product that was being advertised, they were attached by their feet, and all that you saw after the commercial was a pair of bouncing sneakers. Or maybe it was a sneaker commercial. I don't remember. Anyway, so that was in the media at that point, so that was in the back of my head. So they get me all trussed up. I'm standing on that platform, and he says, do you want the ultimate experience? And I'm like, what do you mean ultimate experience? He says, well, you see that river down there? And I'm like, no, just, no. And so I'm getting ready, and I see my friends go over to the guy, and they're mumbling. They're all like, bzz, 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 bzz. I'm like, okay, well, here we go. So 3, 2, 1, I jump, and, elegant swan dive where I must have been flailing my arms like an idiot, because that's what you do when you think you're being cool, but you're totally not. I was probably, So I get down, and I'm seeing the river coming closer, and I'm seeing it coming closer, and I'm seeing it, oh shit, it's not stopping, oh my god, and I hit the water. It went right up to my forehead, like right above my eyes, like eyebrows. And I went into, like, legit into the water. My head went into this damn river before I got pulled back up out of it. Because there's like this second when inertia stops and like gravity catches up and you kind of stop for just a second and then back up. And because of that slow motion, it was even worse. It was like, right back up. And so I'm just like, oh my God, what the hell just happened? Something had to have gone wrong. So I wait, and I'm just dangling by my ankles now. I'm like, oh my God. And I hear him yell down, we're gonna pull you up now. I hear the truck start. And all of a sudden, I start getting pulled back up real slow. And they're like, now you gotta reach up and pull and grab and everything. And I get back up on the bridge. And I'm like, what the hell was that? Did something go wrong? He goes, no. That was the ultimate experience. Your friends over here paid us a little extra so that we would do something called a dip. And in bungee jumping, a dip is literally where they dip you into the water that's down below. They let out just enough cable, just enough bungee cord so that you'll smack into the water just a little bit. And it is the most dangerous thing. Like, stuntmen do this stuff, okay? Not like tourists. Anyway, so that scared the hell out of me. I've never done it ever again. I never told my family that I ever went bungee jumping. Thank God, because I think they would have been absolutely just mortified at it. But anyway, so that's the times that I made dumb decisions about going bungee jumping. And, while it was crazy, I think sometimes you gotta take risks in life, right? I just dissect her. Sometimes you got to take risks in life in order to kind of expand yourself and get some crazy stuff going on in your life. And that's what I did. I took a couple of chances. Thankfully lived. Again, I don't think it was legitimately the company when I was in Costa Rica, but I survived. So, we'll see you in the next one. I hope you enjoyed those two little stories. They were kind of interesting times in my life. So, see you on the next Orpheus Plays. And until then, do good, be good, and continue to do good, and treat yourself well, because you deserve it. See you in the next one. Bye!